What's going on, YouTube? This is Brand Rider 1989 coming at you once again. Today is Friday, and today I'm going to do a different kind of video. As you can see, there's a pile of wonderful things in front of me. This is my board and card game collection. So I thought it'd be interesting if I did a couple of tutorial videos on how to play these different games. I love playing board and card games. My family likes playing board and card games. My nieces and nephews will play a couple of these different games with me. But I thought I would go and I'd start from the top and work my way down. And I've piled them not only by size, but by difficulty category as well. Although I think maybe one of them might be a little more difficult than the one that's below it. But I'll figure that out later. So the first game I want to teach you is called Love Letter. This is just a simple, easy card game that's made for 2 to 4 players. And it's made by Alderac Entertainment Group. And I think, yeah, that's who makes it. And it's made in the United States. So that's a bonus. This is all American made. So, now, let me just point out a couple things. I love this packaging. It's nice velvety type texture. It's a great size for all the elements that are in it. I love this package. Even smells kind of nice too. But anyway, so let's break down the components of this package, shall we? First, you have your Love Letter rulebook. This will tell you everything you need to know about the game if you're playing it with people who either haven't seen this video or have never played before. One thing I like about the back of this book is that it's got the credits on it. This will tell you all the people who are responsible for designing this game. And this is a wonderful game. So we're going to set our rule book aside. There's one more thing in this bag that you're going to need. We're going to set our bag aside. You're going to need these. These nice little red squares are called tokens of affection. And these are how you win the game. The number of affection tokens you need is based on how many players you have in the game. But we're going to get to rules later. The next thing that I want to show you in this deck, in this bag, are these. These are your list of cards. This will tell you what every card does and how many of them there are. And there are 4 of these because each player gets one. But since I'm going to show you, since I already know what every card does, and I'm playing a couple hands by myself for this video, I'm not going to bother with those. I'm just going to set them aside. So now, the last couple cards that you're going to have are your character cards. And I'm going to tell you how many of each one you have and what they do. So, The first cards I'm going to show you are the singles cards. The single cards. They don't have another card that goes with them because the other 4 kinds of cards all have multiple cards that go with them. The first one I'm going to show you is the King. This is the King card. And once I show them to you, I'm going to explain to you what they do. The King card allows you to trade hands with another player of your choice. So if you don't like the cards in your hand, you can trade them if you have this card. The next card I'm going to show you is the Countess. And you'll notice that each one of these cards has a number on it. And I'm going to tell you what the numbers are for in a minute. But the Countess, if you have this card in your hand, and you have a Prince card, which I'm going to show you later, or a King card in your hand, you must discard this card. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to discard that card if you have a Prince or a King in your hand. The last card I'm going to show you is this card, the Princess card. So now, this card, if you have to discard this card, if you have it, and you discard it for any reason whatsoever, whether you're forced to, or whether you, after you've played the game once or twice, I'm sure whoever's playing it with you will be lenient if you've never played it before. But if you accidentally discard this card, or you're forced to discard it, even if someone trades hands with you, you still lose. You're out. Done. Discarding this card is doom. So don't do it. The next cards I'm going to show you are the Handmaiden cards. You have 2 of these in your deck. This card basically grants you immunity from any action taken against you for 1 turn in the game. So like I said, there's 2 of those. The next card I'm going to show you is the Priest card. There are 2 of those, and that's what they look like. This card enables you to discard your current hand or force someone else to discard their hand. So basically, once you lay this card down, you can pick 2 more. You can pick, I think it's 1 more card. Yeah, maybe 2. I'll have to consult the rulebook on that. But I think it's either 1 card or 2 cards that you can pick. So there's 2 of those. The next one we have is the Baron card. This card is where the numbers come in. This card will allow you to you compare hands, and the person with the lowest number on their card loses. For example, if I have a Baron in my hand and the only other card I have in my hand is this, unless the other person has a guard in their hand, I would pretty much lose. So I'm going to tell you what a guard does next because I brought that up. There are 5 guard cards, and they look like this. This card could potentially enable you to win a round of this game, because what it does is it allows you to guess. It allows you to guess what another person has in their hand. However, you cannot guess a guard. You can only guess a named character card, like a priest or a king or a princess or whatever. You cannot guess another guard. And if you guess wrong, that doesn't put you out of the round. So don't worry about guessing wrong. It just means you've wasted a guard card. So we're going to do that. And then the last two cards are the priest cards. This card allows you to look at any other player's hand, which can give you an advantage in the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shuffle this deck because I am going to play a couple of rounds of this with you. Well, not with you, but I'm going to play it for you and show you. Now, once I get this shuffled, you're not going to see my face for the rest of the video, which probably won't bother you at all. I know it doesn't bother me. So again, there are 16 cards in all. And I like to keep card protectors on my cards because this game I do play a lot. And the cards can be damaged. They can get bent, they can get wrinkled, but I know at least while they're in this protector that they're not as likely to get damaged as fast. So that's why I use the protector. Oh, did I drop one? Yeah, I did. Doggone it. Alright. So we're just going to cut and separate once again before I do this. And then once I do that, I'm going to bring out the rule book. And then I'm going to tell you what the rules are as far as cards and tokens, etc. So now, in order to win this game, you have to get a certain number of tokens of affection. So, you can play up to 4 players. So now, one of the key things in this game is to always be honest. That's the key thing in any game. So to win this game, to be considered the winner, if you're playing a 2-player game, you have to have 7 tokens of affection. If you're playing a 3-player game, you have 5. And if you're playing a 4-player game, you have 4. So now, since I'm only doing this with 2 players, the book says that if you're playing with more than 2 players, you take the top card of your deck and set it aside. Yeah, you just set it aside so it's not being used. But if you're playing with 2 players, you take 3 more cards and set them aside. Then each player draws 1 card. So now, the rule book specifically states that the last person to go on a date goes first. But since I'm playing with myself, doesn't really matter. So now, the first thing you do is you each draw 1 card. Each player will draw 1 card. And then on your next turn, you take and you draw a second card. So, I'm going to discard this card because I don't like it. So I've discarded a guard because I don't want it in my hand anymore. So on my next turn, I would draw another card. Okay. So this hand contains those cards. 2 guard cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess that the other hand, this hand, has a priest. Which it doesn't. So that hand is now, that's fine. So I'm going to discard another card again. And I'm not going to bother with that because I don't like what's in it. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to use my prince card because this hand has a prince in it. And I'm going to make this side discard its cards. So I have nothing in this hand. So now I'm going to draw 2 more cards since it is my turn. And I'm going to use my priest to look at this person's hand. So I know what they have in their hand, and it's their turn. So we're going to draw another card. And I'm going to discard this card because it's not going to do anything for me. So what do I do here? So I know it's impossible for them to have a Baron in their hand. And I can't guess a guard. So I know they don't have a priest in their hand. They can't have the princess because the princess has already been discarded. There's one... They can't have a priest either because both priests have already been... One of them's in the discard pile. The other one is in my discard pile for this hand. So I'm thinking they've got to either have a king or a handmaiden. So I'm going to guess that this hand has a handmaiden in it, which it does. So that means I would gain 1 token of affection. The round is now over, and I've won. And I'm going to play another hand with you, just to kind of see what we can do with this hand. So we're going to shuffle again. So again, you take 4 cards off the top. Okay, so 2 of our guard cards are out. Our countess is out and the king is out. So since I'm going first on this side, I'm gonna play my prince and make this person discard their hand. So they had a handmaiden, so they don't get to use that anymore. So now they get to draw 2 cards since it's their turn. And I'm going to use my priest. So I get to look at this person's hand and all they have is that. So I'm going to draw another card. And I'm going to guess. Oh wait, no I'm not. I'm going to discard that because I don't want it. So you know what? Since I can't use it right now, and I already know what this hand has in it, I'm going to just discard this card, and I'm going to not worry about it. So there's already 1 priest out here. I'm going to take a guess and say that they may have a priest in their hand, which they do. So that means I win again. With 4 people playing, it's not always that easy. And if I was playing with someone else, it would not be that easy. But I wanted to just do a tutorial with you and show you how the game runs. So that's how the game runs. Now, if you think that's a game that you and your friends would enjoy, you can probably find this game on Amazon.com. If you live in the Grand Rapids area of Michigan, you can find this game at Comic Signal, which is a comic book store. And you'll have to look up where that is if you live in Grand Rapids and are interested in watching this and playing this game. It's a really cheap game. It's not too expensive. And it's so fun, especially when you get more than 2 people playing it. It's so fun. I've recommended this game to all of my friends. My nieces and nephews love this game. They love to play it. So, again, that's Love Letter by Alderac Entertainment. And this has been a tutorial on how to play it. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope that you'll consider buying this game and playing it with your friends, because it's, like I said, it's a blast to play. It's easy. It's fun. I mean, you can have a ton of fun playing this game. I cannot tell you how fun it is to play. You'll have to just really experience that for yourself, because, like I said, it's a ton of fun. So, once again, this has been Brand Rider 1989, and time to sign off. So again, this is Brand Rider 1989 signing off. Enjoy.